I used to think being the reliable one was something to be proud of. The guy everyone could count on, the rock, they called me. My mom loved to say, "We're so lucky to have you. You're our safety net." My dad would clap me on the shoulder after I helped him patch the fence or paid for a new set of tires and say, "Good man, that's what family's about, right?" My siblings, two brothers and a sister, well, they took it for granted. Every Christmas, I'd be the one footing the bill for the big dinner, paying for the decorations, buying gifts not just for my nieces and nephews but for my siblings too, because things were tight for them. I covered car payments, chipped in for tuition, co-signed loans they couldn't get approved for on their own. My credit card was like the family's emergency fund. Every birthday, every crisis, every unexpected bill somehow landed on me, and each time, I told myself it was fine. This is what family does. But as much as they leaned on me, they never really saw me. I'd be standing in the kitchen at Thanksgiving, carving the turkey I paid for. And they'd be laughing about a vacation they took without inviting me. At my nephew's graduation, my name was left off the thank you speech. Even though I'd covered the cost of his cap and gown, they called me the dependable one. But it felt more like the one we can take from without asking. I told myself it was love, that they needed me, but somewhere deep down, I knew it was just convenience. I was the family's safety net, their bank, their problem solver, and every time I bailed them out, a little part of me wondered, would they do the same for me? Would they show up for me if I ever really needed them? Back then, I didn't let myself think too hard about the answer. I was too busy paying everyone else's bills. At first, it was just small things, a missed invite here, a decision made without asking me there. I remember the first time it really hit me. My sister's baby shower. I'd been the one who helped her out when she was short on rent, paid off her car loan when she lost her job, and even sent her money for prenatal vitamins. But when the shower came around, I wasn't even on the guest list. "Oh, it was just a small thing," she said, waving it off like it was nothing. And when I asked about it, my mom chimed in, "Well, you're not really a baby shower type, are you?" Another time, my brother called me at 11 p.m. in a panic because his car had been towed. "You've got a credit card, right? Can you cover it for now? You know you always come through for us." The way he said it, like it was a given, like I didn't even have the option to say no. And when I hesitated, he laughed. "Come on, man, you're doing fine. What's a few $100 to you?" They joke about it too. My dad at Thanksgiving, carving the turkey, said, "If we didn't have you, who'd keep this family running, huh?" Everyone laughed, but I sat there, fork in hand, feeling like I was a utility, not a person. They didn't ask if I wanted to help. They just assumed I would. My sister's husband once asked me for help with his business taxes. When I tried to explain that I wasn't an accountant, he waved me off, saying, "You're smart, you'll figure it out, we need you." It always came back to that. They needed me, but they never asked what I needed. I told myself it was normal, that's just family, right? But a part of me was starting to wonder, if they cared so much, why was I always left out of the things that mattered to me? The moment it all broke wasn't subtle, it was a gut punch. I found out through a photo, a family gathering, my mom's 60th birthday. Everyone there, my siblings, their kids, my parents, everyone except me. They'd rented a fancy cabin upstate, catered dinner, even matching t-shirts with "Family First" printed across the front, and I hadn't even been told it was happening. What hit me hardest wasn't the exclusion. It was the invoice that showed up in my inbox 2 days later. A polite note from my brother. "Hey man, we covered everything for mom's party. Just need you to handle your share. $1,500 should cover it. Thanks." I stared at the message, disbelief curdling into something sharper. They hadn't invited me. They'd cut me out, but still sent the bill like I was just the family accountant. I scrolled through their photos, my mom holding a cake I'd paid for because I'd sent her a birthday gift card, and apparently they'd used it for the party. The caption stung. "Family means everything." My stomach twisted. I wasn't family to them. Not really. I was an ATM they didn't need to see in person. Shock gave way to anger, then this hollow ache I couldn't shake. It wasn't just this moment. It was every moment leading up to it, like a puzzle snapping into place. And I finally saw it for what it was. They didn't love me for who I was. They loved what I could give them. I closed my laptop and sat in the dark, breathing in the sharp, bitter truth. I sat in the dark for hours that night, staring at the glow of my phone, the photos still open, every smile, every toast in those pictures. It wasn't just this party. It was a pattern. Memories flooded back. The time I paid off my sister's credit card debt because she felt overwhelmed. The loan I co-signed for my brother when he just needed a little help, the one I'm still paying on because he stopped answering my calls. The vacations I never took because I was too busy covering everyone else's emergencies. I remembered my dad's half-jokes. You're the one with the steady job. You can handle it. The comments from my siblings. You're not married. No. Kids, you've got it easy. I realized, in that moment, I was never really in the family. I was the support beam holding up their lives, a wallet, a helper, an afterthought. They didn't ask me what I wanted for my birthday. They didn't celebrate my promotions or check in when I was sick. They didn't see me. That night, something inside me cracked, then hardened. I thought about the years I'd spent sacrificing, the times I skipped things for myself to say yes to them, and I saw it clearly. They were never going to stop. They were never going to treat me like an equal, like family. They only saw what I could do for them. I whispered to the empty room, no more. I didn't know exactly what I'd do yet, but I knew one thing for sure. I wasn't going to be their safety net anymore. I was done. Once the shock wore off, I started digging. I went through my bank statements, credit card bills, and emails, things I hadn't thought much about before, always trusting that family wouldn't take advantage. But the more I looked, the clearer it became. My sister had been using my Amazon account for years, ordering everything from clothes to school supplies for her kids. My brother had used my card for gas, groceries, even a weekend trip to Vegas I didn't know about. He logged into my online banking once when I helped him set up an account, and apparently he'd saved my card. I found group chats where they planned parties I wasn't invited to, laughing about how I'd always pay the tab. Screenshots of messages where they joked, "Don't tell him, he'll just cover it anyway." My stomach turned. They weren't just using me, they knew they were using me. I found old Venmo requests, small at first, $20 for pizza, $50 for a gift. But they added up, thousands over the years. In the family group chat, there were whole conversations where I was an afterthought. He doesn't mind. My sister wrote once when they debated splitting the cost of a family vacation. He's the bank. I felt the weight of it settle on my chest. This wasn't a mistake or a one-time thing. This was a system, a machine they built around me, and I was done fueling it. I sat back, stared at the mountain of evidence in front of me, and for the first time in years, I felt clear. I'm taking it all back. I waited for the perfect moment. A month later, at my parents' anniversary party, an event I was, of course, invited to only because they wanted me to help with the catering bill, they were all there. My parents, my siblings, their kids, the usual crowd, everyone smiling, laughing, raising glasses to family. I stood up, a folder in my hand, and cleared my throat. The room quieted, the way it does when something unexpected is about to happen. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. I opened the folder and started reading. Bank statements showing charges I never authorized. Screenshots of messages where they called me the bank. Venmo requests stacking up like unpaid debts. You've been using me, I said evenly, for years. My mom's smile froze. My sister's mouth fell open. My brother muttered, "Come on, man." No. I cut him off. "We're done. Effective immediately. Your access to my accounts is revoked. I've canceled every shared subscription. Closed the credit cards. Changed passwords, and blocked your numbers. Don't bother calling." Gasps, half-formed protests. My dad looked like he wanted to stand, but I didn't let him. And if you think this is just a tantrum, think again. I have a full record of everything. Why? Oh, you can explain to the IRS how those family expenses were funded, or to the credit card company when they ask why your charges are no longer authorized. The room erupted, pleading, accusations, my mom in tears, my sister stammering excuses. My brother tried to laugh it off. "You're being dramatic." But the cold in my voice cut through the noise. "I'm done being your safety net," I said. My hands didn't shake. My voice didn't waver. I turned, walked out, and for the first time in years, I felt like I could breathe. It didn't take long for the fallout to hit. My phone buzzed for days, calls I ignored, voicemails I deleted. I heard from mutual friends that my brother's car got repossessed. My sister's credit cards were maxed out. And my parents were scrambling to pay for their anniversary venue after the caterer canceled their booking when my check didn't come through. But I was gone, changed my number, closed my accounts, and moved across the country to a small coastal town I'd always dreamed of. I started volunteering at a local animal shelter, took up woodworking, and finally learned how to surf. I found peace in quiet mornings with coffee by the ocean and spent weekends building furniture for single parents starting over. Their chaos wasn't my problem anymore. My life was finally mine, and it felt like freedom. Looking back, I see it clearly now. Family isn't about shared blood or history. It's about respect, trust, and reciprocity. The moment I stopped letting them drain me, I started living for me. I learned that setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's survival. I'm not their ATM, their problem solver, or their emotional dumping ground. I'm a man who has value beyond what I can give. Family? Real family doesn't abandon you when you say no. So here's what I know now. I'm not a bridge for anyone else's chaos. I'm just a man, and I'm done carrying everyone else's weight.